God, that they're from the deceiver, the great deceiver, Satan. If you can doubt every thought, you can be free, just like that. At an instant. Bring every thought into captivity. It's so amazing. I recommend you get a copy of my book, From Rage to Responsibility. I write about how the spirit of anger was taken away from me 29 years ago. I forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father, and I returned to my father, and through him, my father on earth, and through him I was able to return to God. No man or woman can return to God unless you go through the Son. And men are sons of God. There may be weak, pathetic examples of it, but it's the spiritual order of life. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. So get From Rage to Responsibility. I write about that. Go to my website, rebuildingtheman.com, for an autographed copy, or call 800-411-BOND. And donate to my nonprofit, Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. We are rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home. That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room,
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on America's soil. So he became the anchor baby. They don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thank you for tuning in on this fine Thursday. It's a pleasure to be back to be with you today. I got a bit of a show for you. And it's a pleasure to have you here. Nice to see everybody. We're back, and we're going to get into it, okay, folks? Nice to see you folks on rumble.com/American Anchor Baby, punchy.tv/Anchor Baby, and, of course, my viewers here on YouTube. We like this Anchor Baby, right? It's nice to see you guys. Sorry, a little confused with the chat here. Let me know if I'm live. Give me a 1 in the chat if I'm live. Other than that, I'll keep going here. Look, we are live, 888-775-3773 if you got something on your mind, something you want to talk about. But it's a pleasure to have you here on this White History Month Thursday. We got America to talk about, okay? A couple of interesting world things, and it all fits a maybe White History Month vibe in some senses here. But there's a number of things we could get into on this, if I may borrow a term, a loosey-goosey Thursday, before we switch it up tomorrow, Friday. Might be doing something out there. So, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, do all the things, because you just never know, okay? Don't be rude. You come in, you watch the stream, we see you in the chat, and you don't say hello. It's just strange. It's just strange behavior. You can start coming out of the cave of being an animal, come back to society, civilization. You could start with saying a little hello. You can shower, deal with, come back to society, but you can start with saying a hello and clicking the like button. Appreciate you being here. We'll get to the super chats. We'll get to super chats and all the coffees. Buymeacoffee.com/Anchor Baby. We'll get to all the supporters and my members. How you doing, Rumble? Stretching your legs? Okay. Let's see here. Happy White History Month. What can I say? There's some news I want to get into. We got to get into some news here. We got to get into and some fun stuff, okay? But there's this judge. Look, it's another injunction, another one of these injunctions coming down. And the president can't do some of what he wants to do, everything he wants to do. He can't do it all. Some of the more, call it radical, what do you call this? This is radical in the eyes of the current political establishment, Overton Window, and their rules, because right now there's this fight over the judiciary and the executive. Trump puts an executive order ending birthright citizenship, ending anchor babies. We're following this because I am hopefully to be the last of the Mohicans, the last of the anchor babies. Wink, wink, right? I get to get the last of the anchor babies, right? That includes me. A little bit. What's it called? Biased. I don't know if that's biased because it's dangerous rhetoric. The point is, I hope to be the last of the anchor babies, the last of the Mohicans in this abuse of this law. I mean, it's like the only country that you could do that. You could come from the entire world. It's like, by the way, guys, we have free stuff. We got all this stuff and hospitals and like literally anything. You just got to get here. You just got to get here, have a baby. And so he's doing the executive order, right? And the judge, what happens is a lawyer could go to a judge, say, we got to get this case. We got to get this case protecting so-and-so. In fact, for many years, it's been where you don't even have to have a person. You can just say, we are protecting illegals, undocumenteds in America against this, what we are saying is an unlawful, unjust law. And here we have a judge. I'm a lawyer here. I got a judge here. And they're like, you know what? This lawyer's making sense. I'm making it a federal injunction. Stop it. Which just puts like a stop, right? Puts a stop until we can see what's going on. It goes, the Trump administration puts together a case to the Supreme Court. Hey, listen, guys, this doesn't make sense. Now, this happened with, I'll give you the details. The details are actually kind of interesting. You basically have a group of pregnant women. That's what they got. They got pregnant women, the nurturers, the victims. Why is it every time I turn around and I see another victim, I see another helpless victim being used to take stuff away, right, and force me to believe stuff and agree with things that at the barrel of the law, put it that way. And I see calls coming in. We'll get to you, 888-775-3773. But it's like, another helpless pregnant woman I got to just give up the country to. What the? And basically, even though they did have some pregnant women, the case was CASA, like an immigration foundation, immigrant rights thing. What are they? CASA. CASA. An immigrant rights nonprofit, basically. CASA Incorporated. CASA? Wait, hold up. CASA Incorporated? No. Sorry, never mind. I was getting flashbacks to Viva la Casa. Did I ever tell you about Viva la Casa? Maybe we'll get back to that. I must have told you about Viva la Casa. I mean, I have actually a bunch of stories. But immigrating to Canada. Being an immigrant to Canada. Let me not get lost here. Look, it was this Casa Inc. that initially, with the help of a judge, a federal judge, and filed this injunction to stop this, to stop the executive order against the birthright citizenship. Initially, it went to the Supreme Court, 6-3 decision, and it was basically the news was like, wow, dictator Trump takes more. Conservative Supreme Court sides with dictator, giving him the executive more power. But the decision was, you don't have this. These federal district courts lack the authority to bring these nationwide injunctions to stop whole policy, like complete, like total policies of the president. They just don't, and so that was the order. Ketanji Brown, actually, Miss Ketanji, the black Supreme Court justice picked by Biden just because she was black. She actually she had written a dissent on this decision. And she had a bit of a smart moment, I must say. I have to give credit where it's due, right? She got mogged, as they say, or just basically, just using just mere legal basics from what I gather. She was the media, right, that came out. It seemed like it too, right? She didn't look too smart. She didn't seem too smart, these two recent moments that passed through. And then this report showing all the words spoken by the female justices dwarfs everybody else, but she had said something about some decision, and basically Sotomayor, the other liberal justice, female justice, was like, hey Ketanji, I basically agree with you. Like I don't think Trump should be allowed to change the executive or whatever she said and how he sees fit, but that's not what we're arguing right now. We're just that's not the point here. Like, are you paying attention? She had to write that out. She got it. I think she got it too from the other female, Amy Coney Barrett. When the ladies at play, they might get a little feisty. I don't know, put it that way. But Ketanji maybe had a smart moment here with that initial Supreme Court decision that said that the federal courts lack this authority to stop these injunctions. She had said that, according to her, basically, and I'm trying to find where I put this. She essentially said, she said something to the effect of, this decision changes very little. Judges will still be able to issue broad relief just under different labels. The majority is playing a semantic game while pretending it's reining in judicial power. So she was like basically saying, all right, this is not going to do anything, Trump. And so she knows she got it right. Here we are. The news is a federal judge under these new standards, under this new imposed standards from this Supreme Court decision, which is essentially that you can't just do this federal injunction and stop all the policies of the president. You got to have something what's called like a class action lawsuit. Let me see where I put that. Let me get you that information, chat. I got you. Yeah, this ruling did not abolish Reuters. This ruling did not abolish all broad relief mechanisms. Plaintiffs can still seek remedy via class action lawsuits or other limited scope suits. Courts must now decide how to apply this narrow standard. For example, whether states can still get wider relief to fully address their harms. You know, and that's essentially what happened here. Federal judge issues new nationwide block against Trump's order seeking to end birthright citizenship. So back and forth, right? We're snapping back. It's blocked. And this federal judge agreed Thursday to issue a new nationwide block against President Trump in his executive order. The ruling from U.S. District Judge Joseph LaPlante. LaPlante. We now, right? This is where we learn his name, and then they're gonna put his picture on X, and we're like, who's this guy? And it's interesting to me. Who is this guy? Joseph Normand LaPlante. Is this him right here? American attorney, jurist. Not much information. Can we get a picture? That is, that's an awesome picture, internet. Is that even him? Great. LaPlante. I mean, it sounds like a Canadian judge. What is this? So back to this story here, because I want to get to my calls. Thank you, 888-775-3773. The ruling from this judge is significant because, as the article, the Supreme Court last month curbed the power of lower court judges to issue nationwide injunctions, while keeping intact the ability of plaintiffs to seek a widespread block of the order through class action lawsuits. Okay, so we know this. So LaPlante granted the request from immigration's right attorneys, and this nationwide class that will be comprised only of those deprived of citizenship. It's like, oh, that was easy. And so I don't know how difficult and how they put together, but the administration is... So the way it goes is there's like a 7-day block so that the government can appeal. And as far as I know, they are appealing. Let me get that. They're basically appealing. And their response is, let me see if I can find this. But their response is essentially their little lawsuit doesn't amount to what they're saying it is and should not block us. And in fact, I think I know how to find it. Contending, here it is. Reuters, yeah. After this district judge certified this nationwide class action and issued a preliminary injunction, which is the 7 days to allow the government to appeal, the Trump administration immediately filed an appeal aiming to bring the dispute back to the Supreme Court. They argue that the class is overly broad and lacks commonality, contending that even class action relief shouldn't override CASA restrictions, meaning saying even further that not only this doesn't amount to what they're saying it is, it shouldn't even stop any of the restrictions brought about from the CASA versus Trump ruling. And so this is where I kind of thought about this. I'm no lawyer, I'm no whatever. You know, Ketanji's smart moment there, where she's like, basically said, oh, this is going to amount to nothing. This is because you'll still be able to block the president doing other ways, she's saying. This is, it's really, I think this is semantics and politics. It's just them pretending to do something, she said in her dissent. If I may, this is kind of what I'm thinking here. Was she smart to notice this? Or did she notice the obvious? Say it out loud, right? It's like, guys, this is so obvious. And basically telegraph what I think is coming next. I don't know. Trump, the administration either taking this to the Supreme Court and going his way or even further, like in their contention, that it shouldn't block the CASA restrictions so that you can't even do these class action lawsuits to stop him. Ketanji, did you just spell it out for Trump? And not only that, could you even lend him a hand in a sense? Because if I was Trump, I'd be like, yeah, your honors, whatever. I don't know how to talk to the Supreme Court or where he's supposed to talk to, or to America. I don't know. It's like, folks, yeah, Ketanji, smart lady, absolutely smart lady. She's absolutely correct. She called it. She called it, folks. The Supreme Court, they were so smart in allowing the president to do his job. It's clear he must do his job. And these judges, not voted by any, but the people voted for me, right? This Trump in this hypothetical. And then he's like, the people voted for me. Ketanji is absolutely correct. This did not stop them from bringing a class action lawsuit and further mucking stuff up. So I agree with you, Ms. Ketanji. And in fact, I'll use your words here to further this lawsuit here, where we are saying that this should not happen. We agree with Ketanji. This amounted to nothing. This didn't really change what should have changed. Is the president should be the president. So I'm thinking, shout out Ketanji. Maybe you were a smart gal. There. I really don't know what will happen, but there's just some of the stuff happening there. Trump can't do everything he wants to do. And that's the news. That's not even, whatever, call it. It's just calling it what it is. What else about this? I mentioned the pregnant women. Yeah, this was the original case filed, CASA Inc., filed in the Maryland District Court. Simultaneously, 22 states, including Washington, Arizona, but all these states filed separate lawsuits challenging this order. And where was it? They were saying, it filed along with a group of pregnant women. You just got to have the pregnant women here. The Guardian interviewed Monica, a pregnant Venezuelan asylum seeker, quoting her, "I was very shocked. This is a right that is in the Constitution of this country. Monica's privacy has been protected throughout. Her last name is withheld." Yeah, that is a right. Just imagine that, right? A pregnant Venezuelan, not American, just like crosses over and says, "Hey, well, how dare you keep constitutional rights away from my pregnant child in here?" And it's like a misunderstanding of it anyways. "My child will be stateless," she's quoted. "He'll be a citizen of nothing." That's a bit of an exaggeration, no? You could go back to where, you're from. You're still pregnant, right? And I heard about this Jamaican soldier or something like this. It's something like some soldier. It's like one of these very rare scenarios, but CNN finds it and they're like, "Oh, don't you see how terrible Trump is for, wanting to have a border? Because you're going to have a Jamaican man who's Irish, who had a baby with an Irish woman, but they had it overseas while at a base. And then so their child is born stateless, like literally has no citizenship and is not going to get one, I heard." And it's like CNN's like, "You got to care about this. It's so bad." So I'm hearing it's happening somewhat, maybe very rare, but stateless. It's not. That's a bit of an exaggeration. Let's say you're not born yet. You could go back to where you're from. But you're here, you're incentivized by lawyers and some other motivation here, a selfish motivation, and you're going to cause your child to be more stateless. Go back to where you're from. But let's say, but the child's coming. The child's coming. It's pretty much every nation I know. If you have, if it's not like messed up like America, where you're just like born on the soil, you just become a citizen. If you come from anywhere. And you don't have two parents that are citizens. In those other countries, you can apply for citizenship if you do have parents that are from there. And then I don't know what else. Then I don't know. Does that leave let's say you don't have that, you're an orphan or something. Does that leave actual stateless people? Does such a thing exist? I mean, it's such a tiny distinction. I don't know what to say. But what else about this? The pregnant women, they got to use them. We'll get to more of this because I know the amnesty thing was controversial. And what I mean by the amnesty thing is the talk of so-called amnesty coming. And it seems like the administration or parts of the administration are at least somewhat aware of this. And they're like, guys, no amnesty. We promise. We know, we've been talking about making a deal. Legislation is already being written up about allowing some workers in some sectors stay in some respect. And so this agricultural person comes out and says, there's no amnesty, guys. Well, we'll just watch it and kind of comment a little bit. I can't say much beyond that, but I got to wait and see with pretty much everybody, even Trump. But with Trump, to me, I trust him. He's proven himself. Like doing his best, right? Even with let me not even say that. Let me see here. What was I? Well, even with that, like Epstein, oh my gosh. It's like, okay, well then he did the absolute best all the way up until Mossad didn't let him. And that's like super, in my mind, conjecture, and I don't even have any idea that he did it all the way up to that point. It's like, thank you, sir. You did what you could. You did what you could. You did what you couldn't do. But what else was I saying about this amnesty? We'll get to that. I want to get to my callers. 888-775-3773. We got Jep, Kentucky, sir. You're on the air. Appreciate your call.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing, Jep? First time caller.
I'm doing all right. Yeah.
Very nice.
I just used to sit in the chat and watch.
Very nice. Well, thank you.
I just wanted to talk about a couple of my relatives for White History Month.
Very nice. I welcome that.
One of them is Paul Criswell. He is my great grand uncle. He was born 1913. 1913. And during World War I, he enlisted in June 1944, and in that following December passed away in Europe. He was KIA, and that's great.
December what year? Tell me again. Sorry.
1944, December.
Oh,
He enlisted to the Army in June of that year, and then was killed in action that December.
Wow, World War II.
Yeah. I also have a great granduncle who was a gunner in a Huey chopper. He did survive Vietnam. But after that, he just, after the war ended, he stayed in the Army to become a really great mechanic.
War.
Yeah.
And you said he went to Vietnam?
No, I have two great uncles. So there was one that served in World War II, my great-great-granduncle, and then my great-granduncle, he was in Vietnam.
And he saw combat, too?
Yes.
Of course.
Those are that was where he said, he was on the first few waves when they first dropped in and started deploying troops in that one area where they first took them. And yeah.
Two relatives that saw combat. That's crazy. Do you know anything more about what kind of, regiment or what your World War II relative was in?
I just know they both were in the Army, and that's it.
Army.
I just know that my great-great-granduncle, he was infantry, just basic. So I guess, I forgot what that would be.
Keep it clean.
But yeah, it's just basic infantry.
Nice, Jeb. That's cool, man. And so, how you found my show through Jesse?
Yes.
Thank you, man. I think I've seen you in the chat lately, a new viewer.
Yeah. No, I've been for a few months. I've been around. It's just
nice.
There's times where I'll talk a lot, and sometimes I won't.
Well, right on, Jeb. That's very nice. I like that for White History Month. Thank you for bringing that.
Hell yeah, no problem. You be safe.
Yeah, for real. Thank you, Jeb. Happy White History Month.
Happy White History Month to you too, man.
Call me again. Right on. 888-775-3773. A little White History Month for you. That's not his. That's just random pictures on Google Images. Might as well be, right, Jeps? Great uncle? I guess I could have asked him a couple more questions. It's now coming to me. Like, yeah, like, where was your family from? What kind of American were you? Were they? I guess I could have asked you more questions, Jeff, but it doesn't matter. Let's keep it moving here because we got some more show here. But World War, Vietnam. That's major. Any World War vets, World War II vets, are they all gone? Are they all gone? When will the U.S. lose its last World War II veterans? It seems they're still around, at least in this article from May of this year. When will the U.S. lose? So I guess they have not. Back in May. Right, May, of course, May. That's when that all started. 80th anniversary. Since the official end of that war. Huh. Definitely well before me. Thank you, Jep. When is this? I'm trying to get the answer to the headline. They got me roped in. Statista. They got me roped. They got me. 2040. They're saying 2040, maybe 2040. Maybe 10 will be left. Estimating for sure. Estimating zero by estimating, not for sure. Can you estimate for sure? Estimating zero by 2044. Well, that's a little white history for you. What will it be after that? People even talk about it? I mean, these were the world wars, right? AD, Anno Domini, and then like before that? Is it like before the World Wars, after the World Wars? When did they split time like that with Jesus? Was it like way after Jesus? You know, you understand what I'm asking here, folks? That might be a good question. Like, was that something like a revision in a sense? Was that something that people decided like hundreds of years later, they're like, you know, we should split time and be like, make this year 0 when Jesus was crucified, I forget, or when he was born? And then we'll go from there. Is that what happened, or is Jesus born? We're like, yo, let's go year 0 here. I don't think so, right? I'm starting to think. I imagine it was Constantine or one of those guys. I don't know. Yeah, hold up. I mean, is that white history? That might be white. They could. What I'm also implying is I guess they could divide time once more. Has that ever happened before? So many questions. Way too many for a live show here, but at least one or two of these are too interesting not to at least type up since we have shouted them out into the ether. How'd they figure that out? It happened in the 6th century, allegedly. Dionysius Exiguus, a monk, 525 AD. They're like, you know what? We should split it up. And it just grew through the Middle Ages. I guess it makes sense, right? And then Christianity kind of takes over. Like, you know what? We're going to spread this everywhere. Back when monks were influential, most likely. Hake. But yeah. So, will they split it again? No. Man did that out of respect and reverence to our Lord. That being said, I'm trying to think. I'm laughing a bit. I'm trying to remember my caller. I think I have a caller who ends calls like that. Christ is our Lord, or something like that. Well, sir, shout out to you. Let's move it on here. AD, what else did I have here? AD. kind of interesting. Come on, let's keep it moving. 888-775-3773. Happy White History Month. We'll get to support and all that. I want to do this amnesty thing. Let's watch this, okay, real quick. Agriculture Secretary says there will be no amnesty for migrants. Adults on Medicaid can replace them in the workforce. And that was an interesting comment. And also, just some facts about the workforce. America. What's the workforce? The people. I think there was a Punchy episode where I was going to show this, and it's just coming to my mind now again, thinking about the people. Let's see if I can find it real quick. It seemed to be an opening of a gas station or something like that, like a Buc-ee's. Anybody ever been to Buc-ee's? Shout out. I mean, I've been to Buc-ee's. I went to Georgia, and it's nice. I mean, it's a big gas station, right? It's nice. I like gas. I like it. I remember in Canada, there was they had one 7-Eleven. I'm like, what? Convenience stores are sick in America. I get all these goodies, and I turned that up, put that on steroids. I can see it. I get it. But what was it? It was some video of a grand opening of a Buc-ee's, and it seemed like the crowd was, for those watching, this crowd coming in. Oh man, I'm setting this video up so much I can't even find it. It was maybe a little concerning to see the crowd. It's like, wait, this is America? This is a snapshot, a slice of America. It's like fat, Somalian. It's like, but I described the video enough. Look, where was I here? Agriculture Secretary says there will be no amnesty. And this is from Brooke Rollins. I don't know anything about this. Brooke Rollins. Brooke. Firebrand, I'm sure. The ladies seem to, I don't know, just do what Trump, I mean, they're loyal to Trump, seemingly. Let me try and think about that one. Pam Bondi. What can you say? I can't say anything good or bad. Can't really trust any of these people, but I'm trying to think of that press secretary. Pretty lady, I think. Little tiny girl that Trump had. And, I don't think I can say anything bad about her. I think afterwards she's critical on TV. But it seems like maybe, at least while they're there, the ladies may be subdued. But whatever, it's Brooke Rollins. She's this agriculture secretary. Don't know anything about her. Can't trust these people. The point is, though, they're saying no amnesty, right? In fact, I think I have some footage. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins said on Tuesday during a news conference that there will be no amnesty for migrants and mass deportations will continue to achieve a 100% American workforce. That stuff can always be a little bit, you can always fudge these definitions, right? An 100% American workforce. What is that, Miss Brooke Rollins? What does that mean to you?
There will be no amnesty. The mass deportations continue, but in a strategic way, and we move the workforce towards automation and 100% American participation, which again, with 34 million people, able-bodied adults on Medicaid, we should be able to do that fairly quickly. Thank you.
See, wait, let me try and understand that statement. I mean, besides what she's just saying, right? 34 million able-bodied people on Medicaid. There are plenty of workers in America. We just have to make sure we are not compromising today, especially in the context of everything we are thinking about right now. She says, 34 million able-bodied adults in our Medicaid program. I don't know. I'm not trying to think too hard about this. She's just saying, these people should get off of Medicaid and get to work? What is she saying about them? Am I missing it? It must be obvious, right? So no amnesty under any circumstances, she says. The deportations are to continue, but they'll be strategic. I can't help my spidey senses go off a bit, right? The GOP, some part of the apparatus here that's not Trump. Call me simple-minded, huh? Call me a midwit, call me low IQ, I don't know. Probably more midwit, but call me, hopefully, I hope to be very dumb in this, right? I see GOP talking and it ain't Trump, and they're saying stuff like, we're going to continue the deportations, but in a strategic way, and so that we can have 100% American workforce. I don't think I'm wrong in my spidey senses. Like, I need you to be a little bit clearer, Miss Brooke Rollins. But look, I get it. It's a long thing. You know, we got here slowly. If Trump sees it fit, you got to do it a certain way, then so be it. You know, you can't let industries fall apart. Hey. Now, I do hope to see no amnesty, like she's saying. I mean, they seem to be signaling with what Trump was saying the other day, with her, you know, talking about this strategy of automation and 100% American workforce. Like, well, however you're going to do it, you are telling me that there's a way. You're telling me that you could be creative. With what Trump was saying, that you could be creative. Let the farmers deal with it. Kind of come up with a special visa, a special designation where we can use the workforce, fine, but they can't stay and vote and make babies. But, you know, it's like a strange thing, right? Because there are incentives for even all that. There are incentives for all that. Whether it's to just keep the status quo because it's easier, to a number of things. There's even incentives for that. So that's why you gotta maybe have the apprehension and what's it called? Ask more of your Republican Party. So what else here? But what else here? They're doing this. Right, they're saying no amnesty. What else did I have here? That's right, automation here. Now, that's another thing. Someone was saying that this is exactly, who said this? It was something funny. Someone was saying something interesting about this being exactly like America arguing over slavery and the Civil War. That instead of investing in improving farming or something, that it was just easier to keep slave labor. Instead of automating the farms or something. Or, I don't know, maybe just being more creative with visas. They'd rather just keep them citizens, keep them working. So the people will always be at odds with those running things, in a sense, in that relationship. So let's see what else about this. Agriculture. The president has been unequivocal. She says that there will be no amnesty, and that's very important. I and the rest of our cabinet certainly support that, effectuate that, and make sure that happens every single day. That was just nice to hear. Wait and see and all that. But we can wait and see without being, like, we can just do that, right? Isn't that just a nice thing to just do for real, sincerely? Like, just wait and see. But I just know it's going to be amnesty. And you're just coping, and you're just like, if you say it hasn't happened yet, it just sincerely hasn't. We got to wait and see. It's been, all of it has been this. It's been a different ball game with Trump around. Okay, so I think that's it with this. No amnesty. It is a little bit baffling, you know. Just, I guess just how this hasn't been done. I mean, I guess I'm preaching to the choir. It's just a little baffling. Just, it just seems now, maybe with the internet, X, or I don't know, all sorts of things, a lot more people seem to be savvy on some of these unspoken dirty secrets. The Democrats, they want the votes. The Republicans, they want the labor. Really, just wealth. Wealth wants the labor, and wealth, right, creates things. Not hating on them. Wealth, das Capital. Not hating on them at all. Shout out to them for creating things and doing things, but they want what they want. And the people are like, you know what? I'm sick of this turning into Mexico. I'm sick of this. I don't want. What is this? What there's a call to prayer now. So I just find it baffling. Right? It's like you can. So now people are getting savvy. It seems like I'm seeing responses. I don't know who's cooking them up. Is that conspiratorial? Like, guys, we need the workforce. We need the labor. And people are like, yeah, we're getting smart on this. We need the labor. That's been a story I'm hearing. They've been saying that for a long time. Just make a visa. Make them. I guess they have one, right? H-1B. But make it so that they can't become citizens and change America. I heard Saudi Arabia does that very well. That's what I heard. They're not a very populous country, but they have a lot of like oil money, and they love building stuff, and they got money. And so what they do is they just bring in a whole bunch of people to build this stuff up, but they don't let them stay. That's what I heard. And they do that successfully. Easily, successfully. I don't know. What would be the problem here? Would people start calling it slave labor? Maybe that's why. Got a bunch of libtards. You got to make them citizens. You can't just pay them a living wage. It's like, we can't pay them a living wage. That's why we need them. That's why we need the foreign labor. So we don't pay them their dumb living wage, which is a false thing anyways. Anyways. What are y'all saying? What's up, chat? Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. Okay. Let's see what y'all are saying over here. Thank you so much, Aries. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. What's up, y'all, over there on Rumble? Nice. All right. 888-775-3773. I want to get to... Oh, this was funny. This was just silly. A grudge. Holding a grudge. Who's holding a grudge? Who's holding on to that grudge? How's your life going? Huh? Who's holding on to the past? Tell me, how's your life going? Huh? Did your parents tell you to hate something? You holding on to that? How's your life going? Were you taught to hold a grudge by some story? And maybe it made sense. It's like, my parents literally went through this, Nick. They went through communism. You know how bad that was. They went through the Holocaust or something. They went through something or other. You just don't understand.
This is a...
Yeah, I don't think you got it like this, though. But do you have statues? That's nice and all. Oh, you have... Wait, hold on. Hold on. It's not going to make sense without this. You think... It's like, oh, my parents went through communism. We went through really bad stuff. You don't understand. We got to keep this history. Keep educating people of slavery. The Holocaust, right? There's all this stuff. It's just very important. and we got to keep it up, and like it's just super important. You understand? Well, you wish he had this level of grudge that the Chinese have. At least maybe some do. Like the Holocaust. We have to remember it since World War II. Oh yeah. How about a couple of statues of some traitors over 1,000 years ago that to this day,
a lot deeper than you think,
that to this day are abused by the public to continue this important narrative, important story, this grudge.
Why are these people aggressively
1,000-year grudge, this 1,000-long-year grudge passed on? This is impressive. How do you pass this on? I mean, people still slapping these statues up. And it's not just the statue of Queen, is it Queen Ho? What? Queen Hui. It's also him and his wife. And his wife, I don't even think she did anything. She was just married to the guy. And they made a statue of both of them, immortalizing them for everybody to come
these statues
and slap them up.
And getting angry at them. The reason for doing this is a lot deeper than you think. These are the statues of Xing Hui and his wife Wang from ancient China. They're known for causing the death of a beloved war hero and leader named Yu Fui, framing him for crimes he didn't do, resulting in his death. So they built statues of the traitors to eternally shame them.
Eternal shame, okay? You wish you had cultural grudge this far back and deep that can activate your people at any moment. Okay, you wish you had this.
Today, everyone in China
you're jealous. You wish you had. You know what I'm saying?
Hates them.
Wait, whoa! Why is that? Hey, yo! Somebody explain the statue.
Why are these people?
The marks left on the statues. I imagine all those markings are where the repeated strikes and whatever.
Framing him for
friction happened.
Crimes he didn't do, resulting in his death. So they built statues of the traitors to
Someone explain. Well, I guess that's just a man's chest.
Where to this
I guess you could be kicking him and slapping
everyone
him there. So, hey, yo, someone explain. Is that his wife?
China.
Is that Xin Hui's wife? This is terrible. Eternal shame. They made a statue of them. Is this a bit of a troll though? Because Xin Hui and his wife remain famous. What do you think about that? Will Xin Hui rise again? Are there people in China who is there some? Is this actually go deeper like the TikTok says with the funky music? With the TikTok music, this goes deeper than people think. You know, like Xin Hui. Will Xin Hui rise again? Are there those who believe that Xin Hui should rise again in China? I gather he went against the Han Dynasty hero, Jin. What's his name? You guys know. You remember the name? You know what I'm talking about, right? You know, the guy that this Xin Hui betrayed. Yue Fin, right? Yue Fei, the Han Dynasty leader, of which the Han Chinese comprise 90% ethnically of China today. So would supporting Xin Hui, would that be supporting foreigners? I don't know. Look, it's deeper than I can even go. It's definitely smarter than I. Someone's got to tell me. If I had a Chinese viewer, that'd be cool. 888-775-3773. That's a mess, though. Ayo.
Still
eternal shame.
Hates them. Why are these people aggressively slapping these statues and getting angry at them?
But yeah, this guy apparently helped the Jurchens. But whatever, that's Chinese history. It's not good to hold a grudge, I don't think. Okay. I don't think it's a good thing to do. Maybe they're just having fun, right? And I guess, can you direct that to any today? Are the Jurchens, is the Jin dynasty all but gone? Have their enemies been defeated? And so there's no one to slap at the statues? So no biggie type deal? It's not like we're slapping around Confederate statues. It's like, and then blaming white people today for the stuff the statues, they think the statues did. So, might not be that bad, right? To let your populace slap around these statues. It's like, whatever. It was some traitor. But it's not good to hold a grudge, right? I think, this is my thinking. I think God sees, I think his standard for what a grudge is like so, like way more, obviously, right? Perfect than ours. And just way more scrutinous. Scrutinous? Is that a word? Scrutinizing? You know, we holding a grudge is like, first of all, we think we're justified with our anger all the time. We think there is a justification for it. I guess they call it a right to be angry. Righteous anger. I have a right to. I was wronged. But then I hear people tie that up with God being righteously angry, and I've felt like I was right. I have felt like I was right to be angry before, and I cannot say, speaking in total reason in this moment, I think I cannot say a single one of those times, like sincerely, I can't say any of those times that that's what God felt. It doesn't seem like it. So I for sure have felt like I had a right to be angry before. I do wonder. I doubt it's God's so-called righteous anger. They write about what we feel that is righteous anger. Where was I going with this? It's not good to hold a grudge. I think he has a pretty deep standard on this. Because first we think we have a right to be angry. I mean, when you're angry, you're thinking. When you have anger on someone, you think you're playing God because you're passing this judgment on them, essentially. You're passing a judgment like as if you as you had not deserved something to happen to you. What right do you have to say such a thing, such a statement? That something should not have happened to you, that you didn't deserve something, that you should not be betrayed, that you shouldn't be offended, insulted. Where does someone come from such a position? That you don't have that right to stop what? The chaos of the world? What am I to say there? And so imagine that, right? Imagine this. Imagine dropping that. If you kind of realize the silliness of that, then you would realize. I mean, then you have no right to be. You have no right to be angry because, although something could be wrong and just you can maybe deal with stuff, sure. To be angry about it is to judge and think that you didn't deserve it. Is to think that you're God. I mean, that you could control the many things you don't understand for such an event to happen to you. Ooh, it shouldn't happen to you. So imagine holding on to that for anything more than a second. Imagine merely believing that. I think that might be a grudge. Now, I don't know, but I'm thinking that's God's standard of a grudge, you know. 1,000 years, 1 year, 1 minute, 1 second. You're playing God. So yeah, anyways. Forever grudges. Who's got a better record? 1140 AD. The Xinhui is still immortalized and forever. 1,000 years later. Well, less than 1,000 years later. 1140. 1141 to 2025. Who's got a better record? Who's got a better record? We got 884 years. Who could beat it? We're taking suggestions. We're taking input here on who's got a better record of hate and a grudge than 884 years. Okay, Xinhui and the Chinese. Who can beat that one? Anybody got takers? We're looking for bets. All right. Let's see here. Where was I? Agriculture. No, we did all that. The Chinese. I think I had something else here on that. Xinhui. I'm probably even saying that wrong. That would be cool to go, don't you think? IRL in China? Anchor Baby in China? The Red Menace, which is some terrible racial language by some German Kaiser. Wilhelm, right? The second. Wilhelm. For those that might know. Terrible language. These German Kaisers. So anyways, moving on from the Chinese forever grudge, we're wishing them peace. I was thinking about sports a little bit again. And, I was telling you guys the other day, just kind of randomly, thinking aloud about sports, the general right-wing kind of response, sports ball, what a silly thing to waste your time on. And I agree with the sports culture and the ESPN of it all. And even like the teams to some respect, to some level, like can never follow the drama of teams and the players they got and the players they're leaving. It's almost kind of lost. I don't know if it's really lost this to other people, but and I don't know if it lost for me. I may have never had it, but I think I can put it into words now, which is this fanfare of the different teams. It kind of doesn't matter because you could just interchange all these players, and even then, all these players, whether it's like a national team or a club team of a nation, they're all international players, foreigners born somewhere else. Anyways, you're bringing in all these players and trying to create the best team and with maybe certain strategies to beat the meta, but you're still just trying to get like the fastest, most skilled, whatever players in these positions. And so the fanfare of Manchester and whatever. I mean, I'm thinking soccer right now. I don't know how deep that goes in other sports. But so I was thinking about that, and the right wing kind of thought about it. It's bread and circuses, right? It's distracting you away from the important things in the country, eating up your manly, masculine, war-faring energy, and you're just using it all up on simulated conflict, gladiators, right? Oh, they're smashing into each other. You're like, yeah, now I don't want to have war. I've been sated. Now I don't want a war against the government. Thank you, NFL. So that's kind of some of the thinking. I was talking about the other day, kind of with a different perspective on kind of the beauty of the actual physics of these games. How it is white history, created it. A lot of pretty much all these sports, games too, kind of came from Europe, as far as we know. All the big major games, their rules and all the major parts of the rules were set, like in medieval Europe and all that. The ball sports and all that. And then basketball, I think that may have been in America and also created by a white man. And so just kind of describing that, I was describing some of the history. These sports are a little bit actually higher IQ and white than you give it credit. And maybe they had more of a decorum at one point. I don't know. I wasn't there. But you got all the regalia and the team colors. It harkens to, is it called heraldry? And all the banners and and what that all meant, being under the banner of something, and a family and a tradition and a king and a whatever. Same kind of heraldry seen in sports insignias and coat of arms, whatever. I say whatever out of ignorance, not out of distaste or not liking this. It makes me want to play what were we playing, chat? What were we playing? Kingdom Come. Makes me want to play that Kingdom Come stuff again. It was a bit of a long game, but it was kind of fun to be in the medieval times. Like, it was really cool about it. Being Henry, playing as Henry in medieval Europe. Totally different life. So about sports, though, and I was saying too, the physics of it, just simulating exactly how to, the creativity on the ball. I'm thinking soccer right now, and just like the exact physics and accuracy you're gonna have to make that ball move how you want, and the ceiling of skill that there is in this stuff. You can really take one thing, one aspect, and take it to a crazy level, be able to pass a certain way or whatever, and do incredible things that you just didn't expect. I mean, I think it was that classic Roberto Carlos free kick that I saw. It really was the sport. It wasn't like the teams and like, oh my God, let's get it. It was never that for me. It was just seeing the absolute best play. And I never got into it as a kid. It was like some World Cup 2000, what? It was late too. 2016. I was like, what? Soccer is kind of sick. Probably told you some of this before, but it was this free kick, right? I'm looking up compilations, right? We got the internet. And I'm like, you can make a soccer ball do that? That's crazy. I went out and bought one. Doesn't make it like bend in the air. You can't even see it from this angle yet. It's probably one of the, I don't think this has ever happened ever since. A free kick like this, if you've never seen this, you're probably looking at the best free kick in all of history. I don't think this has happened in a sanctioned match since. Here it is in the other angle. Yeah, you can make it do that. So what was I saying? There's something like smart about it. It's something cool. I think that's why I like skateboarding too. He's like a little physicist or something. So whatever. I'm thinking sports. It's white history a bit. I'm bringing it up again. I'm looking at some footage of really old sports, like NBA in the 1950s old. It's actually pretty darn interesting. Like, let me just show you some of this, I guess tell me what you think. What's your first thoughts? What are your first thoughts when you see this footage? NBA in the 1950s. You know, I'll let you kind of tell me. Let's see this. Yeah, you tell me what you think when you see this. I don't know what music that is. I'm trying to get this full screen. Hold on. We'll play that. We'll run it back. Tell me what you think when you see this. All right, but buddy, with the one leg, we got some hooks. Wow, that's an amazing way of shooting that. Bob, who is that? I don't even know who that is, Kevin Howe. Bob Cousy would run circles around these guys nowadays. Bob Cousy? Where's he from? What era? Born 1928. So he's from this era. Is that what you're saying, Kevin Howe? You're saying this guy would absolutely demolish these guys around today? I mean, Kevin, I just need you to look at this footage again. I don't know if it's racist music, by the way, chat. I think those were white people singing. Yeah, look, let me just show maybe a little bit more. NBA in the 1950s. Oh, what do we got here? I don't think there's any. Yeah, there's no sound in this. So, there's just going to be some basketball playing. You got to see it here. If you're just listening, we're looking at black and white footage of what they're saying is a New York Knickerbockers versus Fort Wayne Pistons, January 7th, 1950. You are, in fact, looking at the highest level of basketball at the time. Okay? Let me just, in fact, before moving on, if you missed it in the short I was playing earlier, what first struck me, if there's something I'm not an expert, I know a little bit about basketball, but I'm saying this, I think even I know this doesn't look conventional, the way this individual shot his free throw here, right here. If you're looking at this cursor, you miss it because it's the first thing. That is definitely an interesting way of shooting, no? That is totally different from what I've seen. Ain't no jump shot there. One-handed kind of crane movement, kind of a crane martial artist. Ain't no basketball I've ever seen. It seems some of you kind of have noticed from this footage what it just seems to me, just from, I watch film, okay, folks? I watch film. And I don't know if you would know. I don't know if you would know, and I have to repeat what this video, I think, because this guy who posted this does narrate some parts of this. And I must just say, if you didn't know any better,
Russell and how dominant he was.
If you didn't know any better, you wouldn't know that this was the highest level of basketball.
Close to the competition that Bill Russell was playing against when he'd be pulling down 40 rebounds a night.
Let me back it up just a little bit.
This is pretty close to the competition that Bill Russell was playing against when he'd be pulling down 40 rebounds a night. I mean, that definitely has to be taken into consideration when discussing Bill Russell and how dominant he was. No doubt he was dominant for the time, but these guys here, if you didn't know it was two pro teams playing, you'd swear this was high school, and very mediocre high school, you would think. I think a good high school team would demolish these guys. A good high school team today would demolish these guys.
And that's so interesting to me for a number of reasons, because you think, wow, it's like they were just crappy back then and we're just better now. It's just way too shallow. That's it leaves you with more questions if you're the discerning type. Okay? It's like, wait, but why? Why was there so much time between someone like the like a skill that you're seeing in this footage and the stuff you see? Yeah, there seems to be a big gap between then and then you get to Michael Jordan or whatever, even now, and then those gaps are ever shorter. Now you got 19-year-olds, and that's not totally crazy because Messi was 19-year-old when he debuted for Barcelona, and he got a goal. I think he even got a hat trick. But he had an amazing team. I was Ronaldinho. He was incredible at 19. So I'm not saying that this is totally new. But I mean, even Messi was amazing back then, right? He was like, who's this 19-year-old killing the scene right now? You got the same thing happening, kind of in a shorter time frame with the Lamine Yamal. And I think it's fair to say Lamine Yamal's of the era. It's like, I don't know. I think it's a combination. I'm trying to say here is that we really are on the shoulders of our ancestors in a way, and what they passed down really is knowledge, okay? And there's more to that. Knowledge is not that deep, but it's an interesting thing I'm trying to describe here to me, because you got this 19-year-old, for example, who's playing with the absolute best of them, embarrassing the best of them, and he's just 19. And I think it's that you really do have to figure out how to shoot stuff. For example, I mean, the jump shot. Just the jump shot. You don't see anybody doing the jump shot, the simple jump shot in this.
Look at this hook. What a brick. A set shot. An old-fashioned set shot. Well, I mean, that's all.
An old-fashioned set shot. A set shot is what they used to call just standing 2 feet planted, and you're kind of throwing it like this, kind of like a volleyball. Sometimes even like this a little bit, but yeah, kind of just and really high up, really high arc.
Been doing no jump shots, if you knew.
No jump shots.
An old-fashioned set shot. Well, I mean, that's all they've been doing. No jump shots, if you knew. Some jump shots. Right there was an attempted jump layup.
Jump shots are for show-offs. Okay, maybe I don't know basketball, folks, so you'll tell me here something, but I think that's what they were saying about. I think this man, in fact, describes that coaches were saying that it was a show-off a move, but then now everybody does it. Not just everybody does it, but it seems like it's like the basic. It's like the ollie of basketball, the side foot plant, like the side of your foot pass / shot touch or whatever in soccer. The basic, right? Like unless someone will have to tell me. It seems like if you're Steph Curry, you're sinking that crazy accuracy rate with those jump shots. And for some reason, it became the way to do it. And it took years to get there, right? So I find this fascinating for a number of reasons, right? Mere knowledge can really propel, and I mean knowledge like what you have figured out in this physical world. It's not that deep, but it can culminate in whatever. I'm just trying to describe how that's how you get these 19-year-olds who can do all this, being able to just collect all this, being able to just watch the footage, the internet, all these things that have this like compounding effect. I think that's how you get these 19-year-olds who are able to do all this. They were trailblazers in a sense. They had to be like a really crappy high school team. I heard these guys had like jobs and all sorts of stuff and made no money. And they were like, no, but we still want to play basketball and kind of figure out how to throw this thing around. So whatever, just kind of thinking out loud about the generations and what gets passed down. We are in my mind paradoxically, probably because I lack understanding, but it's almost a paradox in my mind. We are both the culmination, the on the shoulders of our ancestors, the peak of all of them, and yet we are a dilution. Is that a word? A dilution of the pure from whence we came, which we yearn for and do not understand. Blah, blah, just a bunch of words. Look, sports, hey, kind of interesting. I want to get to some calls here, but there's some more parts here that were interesting. And what else?
He let him. Oh.
That was the narrator.
Gave him a nice lead pass. He didn't know how to finish. Oh, there he is. Swish. What's going on now? 15's going to pass it to 4. 4's taking it. No good. 4 back, gets it back again to 9. No good.
Look at that one-hand shot. Look at that.
It back again to 9. No good. All right, the Pistons with the ball. They're passing it around, and they turn it over. But somehow they get it back.
They get it back. I like this guy. What else about this? Also, just kind of just some more thoughts, pinings about sports here. Modern sports is it's very cyberpunky. It's very much a modern luxury. You have people. It's maybe like an end of civilization luxury, if I may be all doomery. We're talking, like, imagine this. People literally born for the single motivation to dribble perfectly. And now you're getting people doing things like they're way better. They're way better at younger ages than anybody ever has been at this sport, at moving the ball this way. That's like, you just got to have, what is holding that up? All sorts of history, work, wealth, labor, death somewhere in the chain. This is like a very modern luxury, and I think it's awesome. Where else? How far can we take it? But I don't know if that's ever happened before. But you can have a human being kind of just be born, and literally, and just have them be their directive to kick, dribble a ball around. It's like, wow, they can get pretty darn good. Oh, these people, when you got that, how far can we push this, Let's do it from birth. Start genetically modifying them. We need the gladiators, the new gladiator, the new Colosseum. There's something very Warhammer 40K about it. Except it's like right here, right now. It's like we're in that. We write about it. We create a fiction and sci-fi about the reality we're actually living in right now. If you know anything about those sci-fi, cyberpunk, Warhammer 40K, I think people are just writing about the world we're living in now. Anyways, 1950s, they say Pele scored like 1,000 goals. It's like, yeah, when everybody sucked at soccer. So what else? I want to get to calls, 888-775-3773, and all my supporters. We got a number of other things to get into on this fine White History Month Thursday. But first, we got Rick out of Hampton, Virginia, man. Thank you so much for your call. You're on the air.
Man, my brother Nick, what's up with you, man?
All is well, Rick. And yourself?
Man, I was looking at a video, man. It's called, The Elephant in the Room. And it was saying most liberal women are depressed, angry, and unmarried. And I believe that. Because like when you look at mainstream media, it's like most of them women on now are feminists, and half of them, and the way how they carry themselves, you see what I'm saying, Nick?
Mm-hmm. Emotional.
Yeah.
Yep. And I read something about them being that a large number of millennial women are not only are also on medication. A significant portion of millennial women are on mental
medication at a young age. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And that's what it seems like, man. It's and that's why when you can't talk about politics and religion, it's mostly to liberals because, like I said, a lot of them never get their trauma treated. They never overcome their anger, so they react off their trauma, anger, and past bad experiences, if you will. Most of them, anyway. You know what I'm saying, Nick?
I do, Rick, and you actually bring up an interest in an important thing here because in my opinion, when it comes down to it, like most people are, what they say they're angry about and what they say they care about is usually not. They're usually hiding their main motivation. I notice, and so what am I getting? I'm saying that when you get people on crusades, right, liberals or whatever, saying the world needs to change this or that way, I'm mad at men for this or that. They're usually having like a person. Their lives are not going too well usually.
Yes, that's why a lot of them are unmarried. A lot of liberal women are unmarried. And that's for the reason.
Yeah, miserable in some other way. But for sure, there's a story there. Yeah, and people, there's definitely a narrative that makes sense to them. But it's not just this.
And I'm not just.
I agree, man.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, keep it up. Keep going.
I said, and I'm not just saying that just to be me, but that's what it is, though. I mean, when you be around most liberal women that
didn't get chose,
and yeah,
it can leave someone scorned.
Yeah, it seems like it was. Even when they come to hating Trump, you ask them, "Hey, what you dislike about President Trump?" And they're gonna tell you all this, and they never spent any time with him. All they know is all the information the media has gave them, and that's all they know. No, can't testify personally.
Yeah, it's a very black pilling thing, so to speak. When the public is so easily told a lie or whatever, you wonder how does anything function, right? How do they say they have these movements and they rally people up to vote, but when you think about how dumb they can be, it's like, how does anything get done? It almost turns you dark. You almost think you have to lie to everybody. You have to lie to do politics. You have to. I don't necessarily think that. I'm just saying.
To me, even liberal men are weak. Most, I mean, I saw.
Rick, we lost you there. What are you saying?
What did you say, Nick?
We lost you there for a moment. What were you saying?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was saying, to me, most liberal men are weak. You can tell if you see a man, a liberal woman, a liberal man. It's like the woman's taking the lead. Even the man don't even walk straight. Like don't walk like he has energy and power. You know what I mean?
Yeah, life. Well, I know.
I mean, he slumped over. Just weak to me.
Again, another important thing there too. However you can define that, however you think, whatever you think that means, it is at the core of it, I think. It's not even ideology.
Oh, man,
it's like, do you have someone strong running this or that thing, organization, government organization? Is it a strong person or not? Will they go along? Will they get buffeted by the winds or not? I think that's an effect of Trump, in my opinion. For anyone discerning and paying attention, that should be kind of like the main thing, actually.
It just lives there, like, just find something. And I'm like saying, I know, with the big, beautiful bill just passed, they're going to take advantage of them tax cuts. They're going to take advantage of that. I said, what do you want to do, keep paying high taxes? And they say, we don't need no tariffs.
Oh, everybody, you mean? Anybody who could take advantage.
Right. You can't take advantage on Section 8 housing because you don't own no real estate. When you in Section 8, the government's housing you. So you can't take advantage of real estate. Then if you ain't working, you can't accumulate wealth. So there's no programs for you to take advantage of, but just decide to get out of the, cut the crack addiction on the government. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right, 100%. And that's someone who scorned it's not rational. It's just, I'm mad about something else.
When you can't build wealth, if you can't build wealth like on welfare and Section 8, it's designed for you to be on there temporary until you get yourself together, then let it use to help somebody else. And a lot of people don't realize either, like, if you don't have a job and you've been on welfare and Section 8, if you go to Vegas and win $20,000, the government's going to take a lot of that money, especially if you ain't working.
Really?
Because you got to get back to society. Yes, sir.
Oh, so if you don't have if you're not making a lot of money and you make a whole bunch of money gambling, it's taxed heavier than others?
Yes, sir. Let's say if I go to Vegas, I saw a video.
Oh, no way.
If I go to Vegas, I'm on welfare and Section 8, never had a job. If I go over there and win $20,000, the government's going to take almost half of that money for you can put back in the system. Because it's been taking care of you so long.
That's a cool. I like that. In fact, we should make that 100%. Make that.
Yeah, exactly.
Make that 90%. We still want them incentivized. Here's the thing: you do want them incentivized to use that welfare. They're going to use that anyways, Rick. They're gonna spend. This is the dark side probably of politics. At some point, and this is just my opinion and my allegation, but at some point they're thinking to themselves, you know what, Rick? These people are gonna buy. They're gonna buy the lottery tickets, Rick. They can't. They're not. They're gonna do it. So we need that. What we do, we give them enough to do so, right? And enough incentive, right? You win this much out of it, but we're going to take it. We're going to take a sizable amount. It's kind of a racket, but it's kind of the only way to recoup some of this money.
Yeah, because it should be a time limit. It really should be.
Yeah.
I mean, you have people be on welfare, man, and today kids are grown, till they have grandkids, they still on it.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's like a generational thing.
And then you hear the liberals saying, you know, it don't benefit the poor. Well, the object is don't be poor.
That is
terrible. I don't want to be poor. I like
that.
to give too much. I like to support the kingdom of God, and I can't do it being poor.
Interesting.
And not that I'm just saying I'm just supporting the kingdom of God with money, but my time, you know, living for the Lord and trying to win souls for Christ.
And that requires you to grow.
That's exactly my point. I mean, plus, when natural disasters happen, first place people go to is the church. When a tornado or hurricane come by or a natural disaster, they go straight to the church for help.
That's true, Rick. That's true. Man, Rick, thank you for your call. Can you call me again?
No problem, nigga. I always thank you for taking my call, my brother. I'll try and call you guys tomorrow.
Always, sir. Call me again.
Okay, love you guys, man. Give my love to Joel, too, man.
Back at you. We'll do. Bye now. 888-775-3773. Amazing. Thank you, folks, for the super chats and all the support. My Rumble viewers and members. Amazing. That's awesome. Incredible. Members. Incredible. Thank you for all the super chats. YouTube. Your animals. Russian bot. Hold up. We got Russian RB. Russian bots over there at buymeacoffee.com/anchor baby with a very that's a large amount of coffee, sir. That's quite a bit of coffees. I do thank you for that. Or ma'am says you got to get back to them virtual reality games as a hot dog and pill people. Yeah, man, I think you're right. I think you're right about that Russian bot. We honestly just gotta do all the stuff that, I mean, you guys are here to watch me. I just gotta do stuff I want to do. And you're right, man. We gotta do that. Russian bot, appreciate that. Great super chats. Thank you everybody for all the support. Let's see. What are y'all saying? Of course, Aaron. Thank you. Thank you, Zazen. Thank you, Kevin. Albert. What's up, Jep? Golden Rule. Lord of the Pies. Seasal. How you doing, everybody? Albert. Nice. Chris. Carlota. Tu Padre. Now what else? I think we can move it on here. We got something else for you. Now, we were talking about sports, what's passed down here, we're building on the work of those before us in many ways, and ways we can't perceive always, just by merely observing them. You know, I was looking at, there was this article going around, and it had to do with Barron Trump. Hold on here. Let's pull this up. So it's like all about his regime. People want to know. People are interested. They really want to know. How do you do it, Barron? They're saying he's on a regimen inside Barron Trump's diet and exercise regime. Oh, yeah, that Dad Donald credits for his staggering 6'7" height. It's thanks to his diet, his regimen, exercise regime. That's correct, right? Barron Trump, 19, has long kept his diet and eating habits under wraps. Female takes a closer look at what he's known to eat and what sports he enjoys. So you can too be like Barron. You want to be tall? You want to be very tall? Huh? A charismatic genius, I think Trump may have called him, something like that. Barron Trump's diet and eating habits have long fascinated many people around the world due to his soaring height. I mean, does that just mean people are kind of simple-minded? Oh, I wonder what he eats. Wow, he's so tall. I wonder what he eats. I bet you if I just fed my kid that, he'll be tall, like Barron Trump. While standing at an impressive 6'7", the 19-year-old student is often seen towering over his parents, President Donald Trump and Melania Trump. While Barron's parents have previously revealed a glimpse into their son's healthy appetite, Female has taken a closer look at what he is known to eat and what sports he enjoys to keep fit and active. What do we got, Barron? We want to be like Barron. Last year, one of Barron's friends lifted the lid on his school lunchtime habits, a little gossip, and revealed that he and his pals would congregate in the school cafeteria, while the other students at Oxbridge Academy in Florida would dine on fancy cuisine, more akin to high-end restaurant fare. Wow. Yeah, I guess when you got money, right? He's like, hey, what are we having for lunch today? Well, I don't know why I'm giving them that snooty accent. They're in Florida. Barron would avoid eating altogether. It was buffet style, the friend recalled. They had American food, Asian, Indian food, a salad bar, fruit bar. Barron always went to the lunchroom to sit with his friends. He's a man of the people, right? He's like the If poem. Walk with kings, but never lose you. What does he say? And but none too fall. I'm sorry, that's not the poem. That's just the cadence. Huh? Poor people. Doesn't it say to walk with the poor and the rich or something? Talk with the rich. No, don't look too good, nor talk too wise. Look, whatever. Barron Trump goes to the lunchroom. He never ate any lunch, though. Never specifically said why, just that he would wait until he got home to eat. It was a little unusual, they wrote. He didn't eat his school lunch times. He did have his home-cooked meals. Whipped up by his maternal grandmother, Amalia. Is that Amalia? Amalia. I'm not even familiar with his name. His maternal grandmother. So Melania's mother. Who's Melania's mother? I didn't know that. Is she at the White House? Melania's mother. No, Mrs. Amalia, you cannot stay. Does she stay at the White House? I forget who it was. It may have been Obama, actually, whose mama, my mama, stayed at the White House. It may have been Obama, actually. Oh, she's dead. Melania's mother has died. At least according to this article, The Independent. Trump pays belated tribute after death of Melania's mother. Very sad night. That was January 2024. So, this I just found this interesting because they were really trying to look into what made him so tall and amazing. Melania and Donald previously credited her mother for Barron's impressive size. Boy, did she take care of Barron, Donald told The Telegraph. That's how he got so tall. He only ate her food. With her passion for cooking, she transported every dish, which she curated with her spices from her garden, to new heights, Melania added. I'm fortunate that she taught me many of her secrets to creating signature delights. Traditional Slovenian food is typically hearty. Plenty of meat, dairy. Anybody had any Slovenian food? Slovaki food? I don't know if I have. I may have. I remember there was like a Polish area in Canada or in Mississauga, and they had this like anybody familiar? Is it called? What's it called? Is it called Starsky? Is it a grocery store? Starsky. Ethnic, yeah. Starsky. Anybody remember this? Everybody shout out Starsky. That's where you get your Polish goods. I'm not just Polish. I think it's just kind of that whole region. Whatever I'm saying. Whatever I mean by that. That whole region. You know, like Poland and beyond. You guys know. Okay. Aki. Like the French Canadians say, Aki. Look, Barron, he's so tall, he's eating Slovenian food. Some popular I just didn't think I'd get educated about Slovenian food this much. Now we're searching this up. Some popular dishes include some savage language. Idriski siskrovki. Oh. I'm definitely down for dumplified things. I'm definitely like the dumpling family of foods like I'm down with. That whole family of that whole world. What can go under there, right? Everything from ravioli to, you know? Okay, so whatever. He's eating sausages. He's eating pork, beef, venison, boar, potatoes. Wow. That's how he got so tall. But wait a second. I eat all those things. As for sports, Trump confirmed that Barron loved football in 2023. In a 2023 interview. But wait, hold on. I play football and I eat pork, venison, and potatoes. I eat my chicken and broccoli. I'm not that tall. In fact, when Wayne Rooney was the coach of DC United and Manchester United legend briefly met with Barron, wow. He asked me to give his son football lessons. Anyways. Look, the world wants to know, Barron, how'd you get so tall and big and like whatever? And it's just kind of like what? Isn't that just like the public? Like, I just want to be like you, Barron. I want to be tall and blonde. Some do that. Look, I forget who it was. You think I said this the other day, like brown people to each other say, wow, you're so fair-skinned and beautiful, and not like this other brown person. That's what brown people say to each other. They wish they had fair skin. That's like, I'm talking about some of these cultures, and not everybody, but I think brown people in the chat know what I'm talking about. Whether it's Mexican or whatever. Look, it must, call it ethnocentrism, or you call it what you want, right? It's just the white man colonizing the world, so everybody has this European-centered standard for beauty, so everybody wanted to be blonde. Even the Japanese, where was it? You know, to sell McDonald's in Japan. One of the ways to do so. Now, where did I put all this? Let me see where I put all this. Yeah, Den Fujita, the founder of McDonald's Japan, famously claimed, and this is according to Wikipedia, the reason Japanese people are so short and have yellow skin is because they have eaten nothing but fish and rice for 2,000 years. If we eat McDonald's hamburgers and potatoes for 1,000 years, we will become taller, our skin will become white, and our hair blonde. And I think there were even some ads and stuff. Like, this wasn't, like, terribly received, is what I'm trying to say here. And the Japanese have a history of loving the European monarchies, that warrior race of the island. But where was I? What was I saying with all that? There's this desire, right? We just want to be like Barron. We just want to be tall and blonde and beautiful or strong or something. Or maybe just some of those things, or maybe all of those things. You think Vivek is thinking that? He's like, damn, he's tall. Like he's towering over all these people. You see this? How much broccoli and chicken do I gotta eat? Huh? You know, it was funny because I was reading this, and as I closed this, this popped up, and it was some thread on X, and I don't even know these people. Okay, are these guys the real experts, the voices on fitness that you should believe and listen to? I don't know, but they definitely brought up a controversial thing that got people talking, and it has to do with genetics essentially. This person here on X claims one of the biggest scams in fitness is pro athlete strength and conditioning. Oh, wait, hold on. Is this the first tweet? Hold on. Ah, yeah. So, this person on X shared this video of, I think his name is Juan Garcia. It's probably Juan. Juan Garcia is training intensely at the gym ahead of training camp, Barcelona. I don't even know who these players are. I don't follow sports like that. I just want to kick the ball. I just want to kick the darn thing. But Juan, whatever, is training intensely. This is some very creative training. I've never seen training like this. Personally, I've never seen training like this, but I'm not an expert on training. I'm no coach, not even close. Huh. It's sports science. You wouldn't get it. Is he a goalie? Those look like goalie movements, no? Juan Garcia. Is he going to be the wall of Barcelona? Those look, yeah, a Spanish footballer. Goalkeeper. I thought so. Yeah, I thought those look like plyometric movements to, increase the strength and the intensity of goalie movements, which is like, stretching your hands to a corner. Not saying that derisively, just matter-of-factly. Look, goalkeeper, look, they're saying this is silly. So I'm not. I'm really not. I'm staying out of it. He said, one of the biggest scams in fitness is pro athlete strength and conditioning. This is a perfect example. The general public mistakenly believes that elite athleticism comes from working out in the gym, so they eat this up. And elite athletes who are elite because of their genetics, they also don't know what scientific strength and conditioning is. So they fall into dumb circus training like this by coaches who swear it will give them a special edge. This is just internet warriors, maybe a little bit. I mean, that's as far as I can say. Maybe that's already too far because I don't know much about it. That's maybe negative. But okay, some people are saying this is controversial. That they're just elite because they're born that way. And so they're going to do amazing no matter what training they do. Then get any trainer and have them do literally anything. And you can call it amazing training because they were going to be amazing anyways. They were born that way. That's what this guy's saying. My buddy worked for an NBA team and said they were more than a few players too stoned to take any direction every practice. Some random anonymous account says. Let me just be clear. But it did start a kind of interesting discussion, though. Another dirty secret of training pro athletes is a lot of them don't even like to be in the gym. They think it's a waste of time. That's funny. I know somebody like that. I also know a really young guy kind of like that, but he didn't make it all the way he wanted to make it. Hey, whatever. But what do y'all think? Are people just ideally genetically gifted units And there ain't no broccoli and chicken you can eat to become Barron Trump. Huh? It's an uncomfortable truth. You better accept it. It's like, yeah, probably. Probably a lot of that is true. I mean, what I'm interested in is kind of mindset and how you approach life. I've never denied genetics or anything. I'm not even arguing with anybody right here. Just kind of talking to the apparition. And to my viewers, lovely viewers watching, 888-775-3773. Uncomfortable truth, I think it's just probably just darn true, right? People have different bodies and genetics, even within the races. There are like the warriors and the I believe it. I can believe it. It's just like kind of reading this and this other stuff, and I was just kind of mulling some of this in my head. I was thinking about greatness. Greatness. What is greatness? And I don't know if I have much to say, but I was thinking about that word a bit, right? Trump. I'm thinking about great White History Month heroes. We're talking about Barron, the son of a great man, possibly. Greatness. Greatness is passed down. Wow. But I was thinking, too, about greatness, how greatness is always an example. Like, truly great person. And kind of now it's like, you repeat a word enough now. I guess I could give it the definition I want. But I'll speak freely on it either way. Just great, right? Greatness to me, I mean, I think it's a great... Part of it is being this example. Because not everybody can be tall. Not everybody can be strong, or not everybody can be 6'7" or this or that, I imagine, right? But I think greatness or the path or working on yourself, salvation, whatever. It's literally there for all that wanted, no? And if you're great, you would model that. That would be the example you live. Because greatness is there. It should be an example and a direction for all that wanted. All that wanted. Oh, I want to eat and be like Barron. Oh, it's so unfair. Ethnocentrism has made blonde people beautiful. I want to be blonde, or I don't know what you think. But all that is like a terrible mindset. No, imagine just having a greatness mindset. It's like you could be a little Guatemalan. You'd be like, you know what? I'm not trying to be like Barron and eat broccoli and chicken like him. He just inspires me to be, I don't know, maybe not even Barron, but to be great for all that wanted, okay? I'm just kind of speaking openly here on some of these things. Kind of randomly, but I know genetics is like an interesting topic a little bit, huh? Barron Trump. Yeah, I don't think broccoli and chicken made him that tall. I don't think Slovenian food made him that tall. But a whole bunch of people are thinking about like genetics and stuff. Liberals, like, I don't know, what is this? Is it some kind of liberal? Can't open file location? Why are you messing with me right now? Computer, hold on. What? Page isn't available? Oh no. We might have to leave this for tomorrow. Not sure what this is. It's just like a little clip of some Mexican girl. Seems like some liberal talking about race and Chihuahuas and how she's a Mexican. Even though she's living in California, born in America, I have Mexican parents. And it's just like, I was just noticing this kind of brazen language, which was just like terribly racist not that long ago. But I can't pull up the clip, so you know what? It doesn't matter. We'll come back to this. Because we're pretty much at the end of the show. I hope you enjoyed it. We're having a little fun here. Get through the topics, the callers, the super chats, and all that. We'll have to come back to it tomorrow. Make sure you like and subscribe. You want to follow the channel. You don't know what happens on Fridays. It's been pretty much the same thing, but we're working on it. But click the like button. Leave a comment. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you like. Other than that, we'll be back Friday for Open Live Friday, Black Friday on the JLP show, the rest of the network, The Fallen State, and, of course, a more American Anchor, baby. Thanks, everybody, for all the support. I think that's it for real this time. I must say goodbye for real. No tearing anymore. Bye, Mom. See you tomorrow. Peace. Oh, Lil Nick, too, has got to say bye-bye.
The views, information, thoughts, and opinions expressed during this show are the individual's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the JLP Network or Bond. Their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. The JLP Network and Bond name and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service.